Topolandia. So every weekend we try to get out and go somewhere new, and this weekend was no different. Topolandia, having no idea what it was.
Where is it? Abierto. Oh, entrada. It looks shut.
It does look shut. Oh, hello, Topolandia. Bye-bye, Topolandia. But after a quick phone call, we discovered it was open and headed back. And yeah, we keep missing the entrance. Keep finding that bridge, keeps popping up. We've been back and forth over that bridge about 3 or 4 times, having to find various places to turn around. First to find out it was closed and then wasn't closed, and then we missed the entrance twice. But we got there and they'd opened the gate for us. Turns out Topolandia means mole land, and as there are no moles in Costa Rica, that put a puzzle to our head. But as we discovered, as you will, this is mole land was dug out by a gentleman and his family over the course of 17 years.
This place, well, my dad started this cave 17, 16 years ago. There are 12 exits.
350 metres of tunnels dug out underground by Beatrice and her family. Oh, Jamie, that's for you.
Yeah.
But as we discovered as we went in, it reminded us to begin with a little bit of a movie we'd watched called House of a Thousand Corpses. I won't go into it, but it's definitely worth a watch. As we went forward into this place, we thought it'd be the best place for a Halloween party.
It's a white scorpion.
Oh, it's a white scorpion.
I genuinely
It was
thought
like a skeleton.
It's like Dr. Beast.
It is like a house of horror. I mean, it is so easy to get a creepy vibe when you're just walking around in tunnels underground with... But as we soon discovered, this place was actually a treasure trove.
Clay, but it's not clay. Are sediments of rocks.
Wow.
And everything here was done by hand.
And my mom made the sculptures. The 90% of the sculptures are made by my mom, and she put the...
I mean, the closer we looked at everything and the more we listened to Beatrice about her family's story of creating this space over 17 years, the more we were just in awe and wonder. And when you're looking around, it was just so beautiful, and everything has been lovingly created. Everything has been given life by Beatrice and her family, and her deceased father was a miner who used to work for a big corporation, and then when he decided just to start digging under his house 17 years ago, and created this 350 metres of tunnels and all this artwork. It's like a treasure trove of memories and honour towards Costa Rica and their family and everything that goes along with that. It was just wonderful. At every turn we were learning something new about nature, about the wildlife, about the geology, about the history. It was just amazing. We found there were whales just waiting for us at every turn. I think this is a place you could go back 100 times and still find something new. And Beatrice and I definitely had common ground.
You watched this a lot, didn't you? You watch it on the TV?
Oh, yes.
You can see how Beatrice was influenced, as I, by the cartoons and things she saw as a child. But as we worked our way around, you got a sense of how Beatrice and her family had grown and evolved, as Costa Rica has in this journey. I love this positive energy room. It was probably one of my favourite spaces, with fossilised wood, just going onwards, and literally holes and connecting tunnels, and there were places that we did not even explore. I love this alien guy. He was down there. And it was so cool compared to outside. I had to check, but it was 24 down there where we were, and it was a lot hotter outside. Anyone know who these guys are, whether they're from the English side or the American side of the Civil War? We'd love to know. Toilets, bathrooms, beds, even a little space dedicated to one of Beatrice's favourite movies. See if you can guess what it is. They chose this space. I had to fence it off and she chose this space because it was full of bats. So much more artwork. It was just an amazing place to wander around. You could get lost in there for hours. And then we were entering the space, a set of tunnels dedicated to the history of Costa Rica. It's quite a recent history, but I had no idea. Mount Chirripó there. I had no idea how many symbols and things there were.
We were singing, oh, the rainy season is coming.
I love that, the marking of the rainy season, a bit like spring in the UK on the northern hemisphere, really.
In this part of Costa Rica, the name is Región Brunca. Región Brunca, indigenous people. But there are 5 different indigenous people in the south part of Costa Rica.
Well, I did not know that. I mean, I knew that Costa Rica had a rich history, but I did not know that there were so many indigenous peoples. Beatrice and her family had a Korean film crew come in to make a programme about strange houses. It did make them famous for a little while. These masks really got my attention. Each one of them just a little bit spooky, just a little bit sinister, right up my street.
Because it looks like gold, but it's not gold. But this is not pyrite, this is bauxite.
Beatrice has an amazing knowledge and rich education, all handed to her by her. But we were back into the spooky part of our journey, which I get, for me and my eldest, that really tickled us, and everywhere we looked had like a bit of a sinister twist to it, but that's just our minds and what we brought to it. But we headed back out now, back out into the light. And as we got outside, we realised there was an amazing garden to greet us. And as we wandered around, we realised again there was just so much to look at, so much fauna and planting. And realising again that actually Beatrice is also a brilliant botanist. And it did not take long before Rachel and Beatrice found common ground.
In the oven.
That's a chestnut here. It's nothing like our chestnut, is it?
That is a chestnut.
As soon as Beatrice realised Rachel was interested in plants, and particularly the chestnut, she was straight in there, digging them out of the ground, giving them to her. Rachel was just made up again and just totally fascinated with the whole thing here.
We got chestnuts.
We put in this and this.
Again, Beatrice on the food of the culture. This girl is just amazing. I found this pink fruit, very pink. How did it taste? Pink. That's all I can say. I have no idea what it was. But the planting down by the river, I could hear that river, but I got sidetracked by this beautiful little planting for the butterflies. Beatrice was talking about the river, but as soon as I spotted that river, I knew I had to get myself down there and head to it. I always need to touch base with the river and splash in it a bit, put some water on my face. It's just a beautiful energy of a space like this. And plenty of mozzies. So I didn't linger too long, just long enough to watch the water flow by a little bit. Take in that energy a tiny bit, and get ourselves back up into the garden and on with the tour. Feeding time for the terrapins and the fish. Mooster was quite pleased about that. And me, I'm just taking in the colours of this place. The architecture, the stones from the rivers. And before we knew it, we were back up by the car, just popped up. There's Topolandia. We'd definitely recommend a visit. As it turned out, we didn't have the cash to pay for the experience, so we had to go off to an ATM and get it, and on Beatrice's trust, return back to pay them for the service they'd already given us. What a wonderful family. I cannot recommend it enough. We keep seeing this pub on our way out and about, so we decided to give it a try today, and we weren't disappointed. Pretty straightforward, good pool table, burgers, chips. Talking in the outside, I love the trucks on the Costa Rica. I don't know what it is. I think it's something to do with my childhood and Transformers and just the sound they make. But just to bring that into balance, we had such a beautiful sunset that evening. It was just stunning. The purples just took me away.